Here in this presentation, we will discuss some of the basics of dynamic memory allocation. So let's get started. First, we will discuss about static memory allocation, then we will move to dynamic memory allocation. Memory allocated during compile time is called static memory. It should be very clear that the memory allocated during compilation time or the time when the programmer is creating the program is called static memory. And the memory allocated is fixed and cannot be increased or decreased during runtime. If you run the program, obviously the memory which has been allocated at compile time is fixed and cannot be increased or decreased. For example, here you can see that we have an array which consists of 5 elements, although you can see over here that the size is fixed. So memory is allocated at compile time, and obviously here the size is fixed. The programmer has fixed this size and we cannot increase this size or decrease this size at runtime. It should be very clear. Now there are certain problems which we faced in static memory allocation. If you are allocating memory for an array during compile time, then you have to fix the size at the time of declaration. Obviously, there is least flexibility because you have to fix the size at the time of declaration itself. Size is fixed and user cannot increase or decrease the size of the array at runtime. This size is fixed. User cannot increase or decrease the size of the array or any object at runtime. If the value stored by the user in the array at runtime is less than the size specified, then there will be wastage of memory. Let me tell you that. Here I'm talking about array. It could be any object, right? So if the value stored by the user in the array at runtime is less than the size specified, if the user enter elements less than the size specified, then obviously there will be a wastage of memory. If the value stored by the user in the array at runtime is more than the size specified, if he or she enters more elements in the array, then obviously the program may crash or misbehave. This is also a possibility, right? Now, here comes someone to rescue. The one who can solve the problem is dynamic memory allocation. The process of allocating memory at the time of execution is called dynamic memory allocation. It should be very clear that the process of allocating memory at the time of execution is called dynamic memory allocation. You are allocating memory at runtime. So user has the flexibility. He or she can allocate memory according to his or her needs, right? You might have remembered this diagram from C programming lectures. This is nothing but a memory layout of C program. These are the different memory segments. The one which we will talk about here is the heap memory segment. Heap is the segment of memory where dynamic memory allocation takes place. Unlike stack where memory is allocated or deallocated in a defined order, heap is an area of memory where memory is allocated or deallocated without any order or randomly. In stack, everything is defined in order. You have to enter elements at the top of the stack. You have to delete elements from the top of the stack. Everything is well defined and everything is in the order. So memory is allocated or deallocated in a defined order in case of stack. But in case of heap, there is no restriction as such. Memory is allocated or deallocated without any order or randomly. There are certain built-in functions that can help in allocating or deallocating some memory space at runtime. It is interesting because there are certain built-in functions available that can help us in allocating or deallocating some memory space at runtime in heap. Before revealing those functions, I would like to discuss one very important point. Pointers play a very important role in dynamic memory allocation, and this is one such application of pointers. Allocated memory can only be accessed through pointers. The only possible way which we can access the memory allocated dynamically is through pointers. Now here are certain built-in functions that I was talking about. Malloc, calloc, realloc, and free. These are the built-in functions which are used to allocate or deallocate memory dynamically. We'll discuss all these functions in the subsequent lectures. Okay friends, this is it for now. Thank you for watching this presentation.